Hey, Shadow Dancer here, Darcy. Me and my dogs want to give, I'm feeling like I want to do a nighttime tarot read. We just went through the summer solstice, and I don't know about you, but every full moon, every new moon, every summer solstice, winter solstice is powerful. But the times that we're in are exceptional. They're extraordinary. And, we're going through a transformation as a species, individually and collectively. And this summer solstice, I was in Utah visiting my family, and the activations I felt with old programs regarding myself and how I communicate and how I interact with people went back to childhood, old childhood programs. It was really quite fascinating. And I felt a surge of energy. And what I felt, I don't know if you felt this, but what I felt was such an influx of energy that was not going to tolerate old behaviors. It was not going to tolerate old toxic behaviors, ways of dealing with ourselves or ways of dealing with other people. It was like a bridge of light that just, it's over. It's over. And we can fight it, we can squirm all we want to, but the energies are leading us to being someone new, new age, new paradigms, and it's just not tolerated anymore. And we're not going to be able to sit there and cry in our glass of wine or our tea or whatever and feel sorry for ourselves anymore. It's just over. It's just ending. I felt a lot of Kundalini. I felt a lot of Holy Spirit fire in my body. A lot of Holy Spirit fire in my body. I know the solar flares are crazy right now. And the Schumann resonance, I don't know if you saw the Schumann resonance, but the Schumann resonance was doing some weird things. Now, I did see that somebody posted, I follow a lot of different people regarding the Schumann resonance. And the one, I don't know if you've seen it, where there's braiding figures in the Schumann resonance, that came from Russia. And all the other graphs from everywhere else in the world were normal. So I don't quite know what to think about that. I just know that our minds can get glommed onto something, and we start getting glued to that particular perspective. So I think it's important to always have an open mind. Again, the solar flashes, the Schumann resonance, everything is wildly crazy right now. But that one particular graph came from Russia, the other ones did not. So I don't know what to think. All I know is when I was seeing my family, that it was almost like I was being moved through a past life, or life review. Not past life, but a life review of all of the ways that I have handled myself, all of the ways that I have spoken, and looking at all my programs, like, why do I fall back into this? Why am I saying this? Why am I acting like this? And family, they say, you think you're enlightened, go spend some time with your family, because, that's your base. So any old programs and stuff are going to come up, right? So it was really interesting to look at myself while I was back with my family, just watching and being observant of the behaviors that I had when I was with them, and the ways I felt and the ways I received information from them, and the ways that I was not honoring myself when I was with them, and the ways that I could have handled myself better, I think in a more loving way. It's all good, it's all healing, but it was really like a magnifying glass was right there. And some of the old things that I used to like to do with my family, just I couldn't anymore. Just personal things for me, not with them, but personal things. It was like it was burning off. So I think a lot of burning off of old behaviors, old toxic patterns, old ways of being are happening right now. So I do tarot and oracles, so again, I'm messing around with my channel. We'll see. Maybe the tarot is what I'll end up doing most of the time. I think it's just going to be, what I feel. So summer solstice, and I think we're going to be moving into some really intense times. Some really intense times of, a lot of us have been doing the work for a long time. I know I've been doing the work for a long time, some people for decades. And I've listened to some people who have been on the path longer than I have, and they say that, the old ways of the evolution, the Shakti energy, the Kundalini of burning off things, and the old ways of doing work where it was really hard and arduous and took a long time. It was painful, mentally, emotionally, and physically. That's going to shift, and things are going to start happening faster now. So for those of you who are just waking up, good for you. It's a blessing. For those of us who did a while ago, the arduous, I think, tough times of it being so painful are coming to an end. I really do. I think at this point it's going to be more of a choice. The screaming, the crying, the painful. Let's look at my issues. Let's look at where I've been. I'm a victim. All of that is valid. We all have human experiences, but it's not going to be so arduous. It's not going to be so lengthy coming up. The energies that are coming in right now are going to say, okay, yeah, that happened. Heal it. Now let's move on. And it's done. The energy's done. We don't have to go through, we might have to throw up some things. We might have to cry out some things here and there, but I think it's just going to carry and elevate that process a lot quicker. So anyway, let's see. This is my Celtic Dragon deck. I've had this since I was 19. My first deck I ever got. All right, there we go. Ace of Wands. Can you see that? The little dragons being birthed from their little eggs. Now, the wands in this deck, I know that in some decks, I think the wands are fire. In this deck, it's air. This could be a new way of seeing things, a new way of feeling, a new way of understanding and perceiving things. Mental energy. Okay, a rebirth. The ace is usually the start of something new. So this card in particular, I'm really glad this card came up. It's exactly what I was saying. It's new energy, new way of seeing things, new way of thinking, new way of believing, new power within ourselves, where we feel like we can tackle things we didn't used to be able to, and new energy. So, complete paradigm shift. Tell me about the summer solstice. What would you like to say, my dragon guides, that love me unconditionally, under grace and perfect ways for everyone's highest good, about the energies right now? What would you like people to know? Yeah, this is cool. I might do more card readings. Knight of Cups. See, I love these illustrations. My Celtic Dragon deck. So, Knight of Cups. See how the guy's looking down? He's riding the dragon, but he's kind of looking down, and the woman's looking up. This is a time where people are going to have to make decisions about, do you want to keep looking at what's bothering you? Do you want to keep looking at what upsets you? Do you want to keep looking at what angers you? Do you want to keep looking at the past? Or do you want to focus on where you're going? And this is a really crucial time. And I want to talk about spiritual bypassing a little bit, because I think this card really brought it up for me. So spiritual bypassing, I was working with Kali a little earlier today, and spiritual bypassing, so yeah, we don't want to be an ostrich and put our head in the dirt and say these things aren't happening when they in fact are. At the same time, the way she described it was, there's also no point in slamming your head against a wall to try to get used to the pain. If something is hurting you or something is affecting you in a negative way, stop. Or stop focusing on it. Focusing on it, it's like glue. It puts you in the boxing ring, and now you're involved with it, and now you're all messed up in it. To release something, you have to pivot. You have to divert your attention from it. And spiritual bypassing, I understand, and I'm in total agreement. Just pretending like everything is airy-fairy is not helpful. But getting involved with and enmeshing yourself in negative energies or negative things that are going on, where you put your attention is what you build. So you're planting seeds and watering what you're putting your attention on and what you're speaking about. So whether it be politics or anything else, if you're talking about it, focusing on it all the time, you're feeding it. You're feeding that proverbial dragon. And it's just going to grow and it's not going anywhere. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit in our reality. There's a lot of dark, crazy stuff in our reality. And granted, I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but in our own personal lives and collectively, what you put your attention on grows. So I'm not saying pretend like it doesn't exist. It exists. There are realms that are horrific. But if you focused on those every day, you'd be screwed, truly screwed. You want to focus on the things that you want to create. You want to focus on the things, and when people are in need and people need help, absolutely be there and acknowledge that. If that comes into your experience, absolutely there's something you can do. But to immerse yourself in the gunkiness doesn't help. It just feeds it. And then your mind is really important right now. Where you put your attention is really important right now, because not only is that going to create your external reality, but you're feeding the collective. So imagine if, like, millions of us are focused on all the things that are wrong in society, which is kind of the case, all the things that we need to fix. We end up battling each other. We end up fighting with each other. Our lives suck. Our friendships and family relationships are tested and strained because we're focused on the negative energy. Now, if we take our focus away from that, are we saying it doesn't exist? No, not at all. Of course it exists, but I'm not going to feed it. If I'm in a position where I can go in and help somebody or change that negative situation, and I am divinely guided to do so, and it will be effective, then absolutely. But talking about what we see on the news, talking about a relationship that ended 20 years ago and still talking about it, no, that's coming to an end, and that has to come to an end. This is the new energy that's coming in. You got to make a choice. Anything else you'd like us to know? And your mind and your words are very powerful. A lot of things deserve to be talked about. Child trafficking, natural disasters, rapes, murders, racism. Yeah, those conversations need to be had. At the same time, we could be in those rings for fucking eternity and talk about these things forever and fight each other and argue and blah, 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 blah. You gotta shift your focus to what can be. Deal with what is in the ways that you can. If you can save somebody, save somebody. If you can step in and help out a situation, then do. But especially since COVID, I think we hit an era of where politics and what's going on with the government and everything, of course, the darkness is coming into light. We started talking about the shadow. And rather than dancing with it, a lot of people have made it their uniform. That's what they're about. And they think valiantly so. Their intentions, a lot of them, are in the right place. They believe that, rioting and speaking up loudly against these things ad infinitum is the way to go. And it just perpetuates the energy. If you can help, have your opinion, have your stance. There comes a time and a place. But if everyone on the planet said no, I will help where I can. If I can step in and save a child, I can step in, I will do it. But to keep the light and power in your soul and your heart strong, that's what's going to shift everything. That's what's going to shift your own life, and that's what's going to shift the planet. Ah, dragons. Do you want to say anything else? A few more shuffles. If you don't want to say anything, that's fine. I've just been chilling out after seeing my family hanging out today. Ah, there we go. Nine of Wands. See that? Man grabbing. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there's all these wands hanging in the air. And he's grabbing one as the dragons are looking at him, almost like he's stepping into his power. Now 9 is an almost completion. It's on the brink of completion. And grabbing the wand, he's making a choice to claim his own power, to claim the sovereign right that is his. So, yeah, all three of these, we got birth of a new era, mentally and emotionally, hatching a new paradigm. Don't look down, look up. Look up, don't look where you've been. Look where you are and where you're going. Don't look at what you don't want, look at what you do. And this one, you have no idea how powerful you are. Your thoughts, your words, your choices, your discussions, your conversations, everything. The power is in your hands. You get to choose which way it goes. So that's, Nine of Wands is a powerful card. So very up, and the bottom of the deck. The Star. If you knew how celestially and divinely guided we are in all of this, the heavens are with us. Celestial energies are with us, with everything. This is a major arcana too, so that's divine intervention, that's divine protection, that's divine guidance. That's things working out in your favor, things going the way we need them to go. It's just, you're good. You're good. So I hope this message helped. It was just a little impromptu video. Haven't done a tarot read yet. I think I'll do more. It's kind of fun. See how I want to set it up. I hope you're doing well. I hope that, whatever you're going through, I know there's a lot of people I know that are dealing with addictions right now. They're just visiting old shadows. And it's a tough time, but it's a really important time, a very opportune time to break those chains. Because you want to break those chains, the opportunity is now. The light is here with us, and in a very strong way. Choose your focus. All right, I'll see you next time, and yeah, I'll set up maybe another tarot reading. I like doing that. Maybe do some oracle readings. I don't know if I'll get into horoscope signs. I just kind of, like to go and flow. So happy summer solstice. Take care.